Alright, Aero. This is probably the biggest topic discussed in Rocket League, and yet a lot of people explain it really bad. I see countless of videos saying the same thing over and over again, and it really wait, what? They all say rings maps, and don't get me wrong, rings maps are really good for Aero, but it's like being chucked in the deep end without actually knowing how to swim. So let's get rolling. Wait, I still haven't shown you what an Aero actually is. The reasons why we spin is because unpredictability, softer touches on the ball, better control, and so you don't look like a noob. Unfortunately, it's really hard to learn how to aero when you don't know how to do the minute little movements. We need a transition. Alright, so aero. The easiest way to explain this is with this, a circle. Now, if we picture this as the joystick, and we put a line directly through the center, and hold directional arrow, so for me it's directional arrow left, we do the tornado spin. Now, if I move it up to the right, then it actually moves to the left, the car. And if I move it down to the bottom right, the car goes to the right. So say you're doing it the other way and moving your stick to the left. If you move it up to the left, then it'll go right. And if you move it down to the left, then you're moving left. Okay, so these are the aero maneuvers in real action. This is top right, and we go right. This is bottom right, and we go left. This is top left, we go right. And bottom left, and we go left. Okay, so now we know how our car moves, it's time to put that to the test. This is probably the best thing you can do to start off, and it's just flying in a straight line while aeroing, and you just hit the crossbar. And the goal of this is just aeroing the whole time, and you're staying in control and you're hitting the crossbar every time. So what you want to do is you want to work on controlling the car in different movements. So see how I did like sort of an elliptical shaped path? And that's just so I can become more comfortable with the different angles of the aero. Now you want to do this straight one until you're like super comfortable getting it every time in a row. And once you're done that, you want to go to the sidewall and just try and regain, and then go to the crossbar. And obviously do that for the other side. And you can make this harder by going out more, and then you try to come back in. And I'll explain in the next step how to turn while aeroing. Okay, so once you've got this down, and you complete every level, then you can move on to the next stage, which is the pillars map. Okay, so to master the aero, I'm going to walk you through a few steps that you can do. So the first step was the one that we just did, which was mastering those little maneuvers and how it affects your car. The second would be combining two maneuvers in one. So if you mix the two in, and you can see with my overlay, I'm moving from top to bottom on the right, and it does a mixture of the tornado spin while doing minor little adjustments. And these are the minor little adjustments that I've been talking about that I can do to correct my car when I'm in the air. So when you practice those, you can combine top right, bottom left. So to master this, we're going to use the pillars map. So to get to the pillars map, everyone can use it. You just go to change mode, training, free play, and then you just scroll across until you find it. When I first started out, I could not get past this first pillar. So you do figure eights, and I was like, how do you turn? But the way I learned was I did it in steps.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
So you fly, you hold the aero, and you just do something.
Oh wow, thank you so much!
So now we know how to do the aero maneuvers, we just need to know how to turn while doing them. So the best way to do this is by holding aero and just testing something. So if I do bottom left, I go left, and I do right, bottom right, okay, cool. Okay, so now we get to the right part, but what do we do once we're here? Now we do another test. So we go bottom right, let's try left. Nope, that makes me go straight. Now we know that if we go bottom right and bottom left, we go straight. What if we let go and we go more to the middle, right, instead of in the corner? So bottom right, middle, okay, cool. So you keep continuing this process until you get all the way around and you're able to just fly. And sometimes, like as you can see now, I'm not even using aero. And like the best thing to do is trying to keep your nose down and then do these adjustments. So say I'm going left, I know that's this way. Say I want to go right, I know that's that one, bottom right. And you just keep memorizing these patterns, and then keep memorizing which way to turn them. Okay, so with the pillars map, there are a few tests that you can do to see how well you actually can aero. So the first test is by going around with zero aero at all. and you just have to make your way around the course. And this is, it's really hard. And you just keep going around until you fail pretty much. And don't hold air roll at all. No directional, no nothing. And you just keep correcting your car, and you just do these figure eights. And that's level 1. And so you want to do 3 of these laps, and I'll put a picture up on the screen. What a lap is, it's just doing 1 figure 8. If you do 3 in a row, then you can move on to level 2. Level 2, not constantly air rolling, that's just whenever you need it, so you can just don't air roll and just do it like this, and just working on getting comfortable with doing those little movements. And then level 3 is just the step that's harder, and that's just constantly air rolling, so you can't let go of air roll. And I always found this the hardest, just because it was really hard to, learn those minute little movements. And level 4, which is the last level, is you just have to constantly boost, try and get around the course. But it's really hard because it gets your car really awkward, and you get those blackout moments. So essentially, what I mean by a blackout moment is when you're flying and then you don't know what to do and you're like, ah. And what that means is your brain just hasn't learned that pattern. So for me, my brain has learned all these patterns because of repetitive practice, so I can do this in muscle memory. But if you're just learning, you may struggle with this, and I struggled with it, I definitely did. Okay, this is the part in the video where most people just tell you to do rings maps and say, oh, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to walk you through specific situations where I particularly found hard and how you can fix them and correct your car. Okay, so in this one you'll see that my car is slightly off center, and I pull down bottom left on my controller, as you'll see at this moment, and that's because I want to rotate my car so that the underside of the car is facing directly up or opposing the direction that I'm moving. And eventually the car will realign itself so that it's facing upwards. Okay, and this is a really important maneuver, and it's called a tornado spin. And if you didn't know what that was, well, this is what it is. Pretty much you move the stick so that it's the opposite of the direction your air roll is spinning. So I have directional air roll left, so I will move my stick to the right so that it moves in this cool pattern. A good way to train this is by going into slow motion and just experimenting how your car moves and where to feather your boost such that you can stay in the air for longer. If you practice in slow-mo, then you'll really get an understanding of your car, how it moves, and eventually you'll be able to go into the normal speed and just be able to do it naturally. Of course, this takes a lot of time and effort, but make sure you're experimenting with how your car moves through this tornado spin, how you can feather your boost, and how you can move the stick, like I said before, in opposite directions, such that you go straight up. Okay, in this next situation, the car is rotated at a 90-degree angle. I really think this is probably the easiest one because you don't actually have to boost much, you just have to rotate your car in order for the boost to propel you directly up. And the way I like to do this, with this little aero maneuver that I do, where I put this stick to the top right, such that the bottom is facing directly down. And you can train this through custom training packs. I actually created one myself, and I just uploaded it for you guys to use. And this is specifically for training air roll. So for this first one, you just air roll and shoot. For the second one, it's a little bit more advanced, and you just air roll and you try and shoot it in. It's a moving ball this time. For this one, you just want to air roll up and just go straight. And if you can, get 2 touches, but you just want to go for 1 singular touch at least, but make sure you air roll that whole time. For this one, you just want to save it, and you want to get that air roll like sort of around the ball, if that makes sense. I can do it again. So you just air roll around the ball here like that. Try not to just do this, because that's not the point. You want to make it awkward for yourself. Oh, I didn't even say that one. You want to make it awkward, and then you save it out like that. The next one here is air roll like this, and it's just like a little bit of a redirect. And this one is pretty hard. You want to jump and you just hit it down like that. So it's a bit of a redirect, but if you practice this and just learn how to angle your car, it'll be fun. Mine might be a bit different because it's like changing heights and angles and stuff. Just that's because I've got backers model. This one is pretty hard. You got to get like a really nice angle on the ball. I saved this deliberately for last because it's hard. There we go, got it. You kind of want to get around the ball and just get a nice soft touch down. I would only recommend doing this once you feel quite confident with everything else. Now, it wouldn't be a real air roll video if I didn't actually use rings, so now's the time to do rings. I've taught you how to swim, now I'm chucking you in the deep end, because you have to practice somehow. And like I said before, you want to be forcing these blackout moments, just so you can strengthen those brain connections in your brain. What am I even saying? But in all seriousness, you just have to keep practicing. I've given you all the tools that you need, all you have to do is just do them. Aero is hard in the beginning, but it has a compounding effect, so it gets easier as you keep going. And that's pretty much it. I did spend quite a lot of time doing this video, so if you did enjoy, please make sure to like and subscribe. And comment what you want to see next. I did actually enjoy making this video, and I learned a little bit about Aero myself, which is great. But yeah, that's all from me, and I'll see you in the next one.